thank you everyone for joining us today. I see some people are still coming in, but I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us, especially after the long weekend. I hope everyone had a good one. I am so excited to be kicking off this new semester of our alumni talks. If you don't already know, my name is Ku'u Kauanoe. I am currently a digital producer at Honolulu Civil Beat, and I actually graduated from the creative media program back in winter 2016. And I just hate saying that out loud because it just makes me feel so old, but it's whatever. It's 2021, I guess. Oh my gosh, almost 5 years. Charla, oh my gosh. We've known each other for a really long time, but gonna give a couple more minutes for people to come in, or a couple seconds actually. But I'm so excited for you guys to hang out with us today. We'll be talking story with my good friend and my classmate, Janelle. She's here with us. But before we get into Janelle's story, I just want you to learn a little bit about her on this sizzle reel.
First things first, Janelle's the name. Creative media assistant, program that in your brain. And speaking of programs, we got the whole Adobe pack. Just bring your CMIDs and head down to the lab.
I love that so much. Janelle, did you love it? You keep shaking your head, but
I am just eternally embarrassed, Charla. But you know what? That was my true journey, actually. That was the true journey in ACM, and I'm so grateful. No regrets. No regrets.
No regrets.
Back in when we were rappers and on MTV.
Yeah. Charlotte will just have all of this footage of us just like on stock, ready to go. Whenever, just at the whims, ready to embarrass us. It's fine, Charlotte. It's fine. We'll let you have it.
Thanks for that, Charla. Thanks for that.
So, I mean, I just want to get started and kind of talk more about you and get people, kind of share your story. But can we first just start by kind of sharing with people how you, what were the decisions that went into going into college? Like, what were you thinking about? What were some of the challenges?
College in general?
Yeah.
I'll start off by saying I was definitely not your A+ student in high school. I love to just be occupied with different things. And it wasn't just one thing. It was sports. It was creating a band, and a lot of tapping into my artistic side. I know for sure that wasn't something I was scared to do, was just try new things, even from when I was in high school, joining different clubs. So I knew that when it came down to choosing what I wanted to major in college, it wasn't going to be accounting. It wasn't going to be pre-law, something that I definitely was not good at and did not have high grades in, but something that would definitely make me tap into my artistic side and create a life out of it and a career out of it. And I'm so lucky that it aligned better than I had planned to. And yeah, going into college, I registered and was accepted into UH Manoa. From my experience, I knew that that wasn't the place for me, or their music department wasn't, I wouldn't grow as far as I I wanted to in that style of music, or what you could major in their department. So I did my research, and yeah, it's a whole journey. I'm not sure if your other questions will, my answer will answer some of your other questions, but it landed me here, just taking chances, and not being complacent, or not settling for what I thought would be traditionally correct to just get a BA. You know, I hit a lot of um, bumps in the road, and I had to take wild turns, sharp turns that landed me here. And so, yeah, that is my college experience.
Yeah. I mean, no, I was going to get into it a little bit, just a little bit more about, those wild turns. Because I think, they say that there's like a traditional route, that people go through college in 4 years and whatever. And I know for a lot of people, especially our friends and classmates, that that's really not true. A lot of people go through different things. And, outside of school, you have your personal life and you have things that you have to handle. So, I mean, I know that you started at HCC, right? Before you transferred to UH West.
Yes. So wild turns again. So UH Manoa, what's the best music program that would fit me? HCC, doing research landed me in the MELE program, which is the Music and Entertainment Learning Experience program. It was just starting off. It was probably like not even more than 3 years old when I had entered it. So the people that were graduating from that program were just guinea pigs as well. We're just trying new things as well. And one of the bridges that were in the works was a bridge from that MELE program with an associates in either audio engineering or music business, bridging to UH West Oahu, which was in itself creating, stability and probably in their first run of graduates as well. So a lot of things were taking a chance on something that was also new, doing something new that, taking a chance on something new that was also new. Does that make sense?
No, it
mean?
does. It does. I think we joined the program around the same time, because I started also when the program was just starting. So, I mean, what was that like for you to just, I mean, it sounds like you always had like this, I'm going to do it, I'm going to try it. But I mean, what was that like when you first moved over to West Oahu and got oriented with the program?
I always trusted my gut in a lot of decision making. Just trusting that even though I can't see 5 years, I know a lot of mentors or a lot of people that we really look up to always ask us about our 5-year plan and whatnot. But I honestly don't think 5 years ahead. I think like, okay, Janelle, what's going to keep you employed or educated, or in school, or getting the bills paid, and also if allowed, what's fun to do, and it all happened for me. All three points I just listed, taking a chance from graduating from HCC and taking a wild chance on UH West Oahu. It was the campus was still new. The program I was going into was still new. I went in very open-hearted, and open-minded. I don't think I lack any skills of meeting someone and talking stories, and probably we'll talk each other's ears off. I really love that. It was just the environment was just like that for me, in my experience, that I got to meet different programs. I got to meet different coordinators that did different things at UH West Oahu. It was very family oriented, more than a lot of schools that I had gone to or was a student at.
No, I mean, I feel the same way, especially with all of our classes and our program. Since we started like with the program, it's like we all kind of got through our journey together. So I liked it a lot too. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about I mean, I kind of want to know more about kind of like the advice that you would give to somebody who's just entering the program, and maybe even advice you would give to somebody who's graduating this winter or spring. I mean, we all kind of go through a lot when we're going through this program, but I mean, I
Yes.
want to know what you would tell someone besides just, taking risks and trying new things.
Yeah. Um, trust in your skill set that you don't think you have kind of honed yet. Like even the basic skill levels that you have, just trust in it. And I remember being in Scott's class. I'm not sure his last name. Charlotte knows who I'm talking about, but I didn't know. I had zero experience with logo making or branding, but just taking chances on things that would even spark just even a little interest in your mind, and not shrinking yourself back and saying, I'm a musician. There's no way I could do graphics. There's no possible way I could get into graphic designing. No, but even taking a chance on that allowed me to, wow, I think I can do it. I think I can put a square and a shadow effect and,
Yeah.
your opacity at 60%. Wow, that's how they create those poles. That's how we put these things together that will draw our eyes to get the information that, the message across. So when you tap into what you think you can do, you yourself will reveal that you just add on to the list of this is something you can do now. It's not something that, I thought I could have done it when I was in college, graphic designs. I used to always wonder how they made those Instagram posts or how they made those newsletters. Then you take a chance. And then now I'm making newsletters for the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts. That's how life works. That's how life works. I never would have imagined. But that's how life works. You I know you said besides taking a chance, but everything has happened coincidentally, I guess, where there was an opportunity and you're going to stare it in the face till it's a yes or a no, till it's a yes or a no. I'll take it then. Oh no, I won't take it then. And all the yeses has led me here.
I love that. It's a yes or a no. Really. I think sometimes, even for me, I can get overwhelmed with all the options and the things that are available for people, especially coming out of the creative media program. You grow so many different skill sets that it might be overwhelming for some, but I love that it's really just a yes or no. And either way, you commit to that path and it works out the way it's supposed to. I love that. I just want to remind everybody if you have questions for Janelle that you want to ask, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can always ask it later on when we have a little bit of a Q&A. And I just want to make sure everybody's utilizing it because, if you have feelings, if you're resonating with something that she's sharing, just let us know. But yeah, I like that advice that you gave. And there's just so many things that you're going through when you're going to college, working, trying to find a job, trying to establish yourself in whatever field or industry that you decide to go into. What would you say to someone who's kind of trying to balance, trying to make their way in the professional world, but, we all have families, we all have, things that we have to take care of. What kind of encouragement would you share with them?
Sorry, I just caught the last
Matthews?
Matthew. Matthew, that's for another Zoom, okay? That's
I was gonna say if you could wrap this answer, that would be great. No kidding.
Oh my gosh. Balance. Whew. Does that word even exist in a college person's mind? I don't know. Right. I do want to share my experience as a college student at UH Oahu. I came in 2015, and at the time I had no job. I went from, right when I turned 18 and working in retail, being a freshman and a sophomore, working retail, and also having a band and doing different gigs just to make money and be independent, depend on my family and my parents. Then when I came here, because I had to move, I had to say goodbye to my retail job, and it was a fresh start. I had to start from the ground up. My first week there, I remember applying to different jobs that was close to my house. And it was like Taco Bell and all these fast food restaurants. But once again, by coincidence, like I was getting discouraged because I kept getting denied. I was like, oh, I have a degree, I have an AS degree. Why are these people? I just want to make some money to, be a working college student. And I tried and tried. I think I applied like over 18 applications of all kind of different retail stores, things that are close to UH West Oahu. Then finally, this is what happened. There was a guest speaker from South Africa that was playing music. I'm going to tell you how I landed my first job at UH West Oahu, because this could be inspiration to a lot of people tuning in to not be afraid that the paths that you cross may really be a setup for, or like a ramp to your career that you'll have after you graduate. So I remember walking by from my 6:30 class or 5:30 class, and it was Sharon Katz, a South African singer-songwriter, and she was part of this activism movement that was happening about the peace train and whatnot. Anyways, she was an amazing singer. Because I love music so much, I was drawn to it. And it was actually PICO, the PICO program or grant that was running that event for her as a guest speaker. So I sat in, and there was spare ukulele. They brought their instruments out. And Dr. John, who's also a professor for CM 314, I'm not sure if that's still current, Charla, but yeah, he put a guitar in my hand, and I instantly just started playing along with the singer. And it just so happened that the program director or supervisor was around. The PICO program person was around, and she seen that, I was helping out with the music stuff and going in. And then she asked me about my experience with sound. And so besides just being a student that just came from a photography class, she was asking me, what music or what audio experience I had. So I got to share with her. The following week, Dr. John and her, I guess, talked to each other, and they offered me a student position job to help run sound for a lot of UH West Oahu events. So you see what I mean about just being in the right place at the right time. It could be as easy as walking to your car, that things set in line for you, and that was my first foot in the door at UH West Oahu. And then I got to collaborate, being a student assistant, and being good friends with people that were already in the creative media program longer than me, allowed me to have closer collaborations with on projects. Yeah, so me and Mahel going to high school together. She already knew my quote unquote expertise. I don't think it was, but expertise and what I could offer. And so every opportunity she's seen that, man, if Janelle just offered, this, she brought it to the table. That's another thing that I learned from creative media is we have a huge table. We leave the table open for everyone's opinions and thoughts, and it might come with a lot of stress and a lot of probably tears and a lot of mistakes, but the product, it'll show at Kapolei Commons before trailers and stuff like that, right, Charlotte? Those are the fruits. Those are the fruits. The harvest is hard. I tell you, but the fruits, they're good, and we still eat them today, and we still are planting seeds for many more opportunities right there behind us, in the trail. So, yeah, that was a long answer. I am so sorry, Ku.
No. I love that. The harvest is hard, but the fruit is still good. I love that.
The fruit is sweet.
I love that so much. It's really encouraging, honestly. Oh, Brittany said long answer, but a real good one. So you're fine. People got it. I mean, you shared so much for people to kind of, take away from this talk. But I mean, I kind of want to also go into your career and how you got to work at the mayor's office. Can you just tell us a little bit more about your role and what led you there?
Sure. After college, I went straight into the PA position for Disney Moana in Olelo, Hawaii. And I got to do a lot of admin work, I'd say, right, Charla? I got to see how the talents are officially, paid officially, like insurance and what is like copyrighted, and even down to, I got to see how a lot of the experts in Olelo, Hawaii, or people that are very knowledgeable in today's generation, nothing is set in stone the first time around. I was amazed at how many times we had to go back and edit the script, and seeing the collaboration with all the producers, both ACM and in the Hawaiian community. That was so beautiful. I was just like, it was a fusion of two worlds in that experience, and it created a beautiful masterpiece for Disney, and a good representation of Hawaii. Anything that is perpetuating indigenous culture and language on the world stage, just for representation and nothing more, honestly, I will always be proud of. So I was proud of that. And then coming into that, right after that, I was at a nonprofit, and an opportunity presented itself to here at the city and county, and there was an opening for an auditorium manager. And I took a chance. It was it was me against someone else who had like 20 years of experience. I remember that day arriving here, and in this huge auditorium, I'm just like, what is the first thing? What is the first thing? And once again, with all the audio skills that I had, gathered throughout high school, even, I applied in that one day to kind of not audition, but do the sound test. And I was like, I walked away feeling like that's the best I could do. It's like leaving it all on the field. Like, that's the best I could do. And out of the three that did the sound test, yeah, I was fortunate enough to get this position under the last administration, Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts Director. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, they had you do like a sound test, and everybody had to do one.
I wasn't ready. Yeah, I was not ready. I remember the prep for it, like studying different, mixers, because I had to assume, is it going to be digital? Is it going to be analog? Sorry, a lot of tech stuff. But I remember it was like studying for a really, really hard test.
Oh my gosh.
You're really lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, lucky, but also you had the skill set, and you kind of brought it up a little bit earlier about like, when you're going into the field and into different industries, there are going to be a lot of people who have more experience than you. They might have better interviewing skills than you. There might be, there's always going to be somebody,
Yeah.
But I mean, what would you say to our students who are looking for jobs in their careers? I mean, where should they start? And, how do they attack some of those feelings of, like, am I ready? Like, am I good enough?
Yeah.
That's a hard question. I'm not gonna lie, because it's basically asking, how do you have the confidence to pursue the career that you want,
Yeah.
But I mean, what would you say?
People say, fake it till you make it, face it till you make it. It's really 50-50. Either you faking it or you facing it, like, no matter what, just attack it, just attack the goal with all that you have, with whatever level skill set you have. I didn't know a thing about web design, but here I am managing the Mayor's Office of Culture and the Arts website. I definitely didn't take that class in ACM, but knowing the kuleana, or the responsibilities that I did have, it made me ask Charlotte for a lot of advice on many things when it comes to graphics. Well, I remember preparing the printed media for Mango Jam, and I was just like, Charlotte, does this look good? Do you remember this, Charlotte? This is 2019. I was just like, is this font big enough? I always go back. It's like the chicks that, grow into chickens and they fly out, but, they always go back to the mama hen. Yeah, that's all the different skill sets. I don't think I skipped on any skill set that I learned from ACM. It came down to logos, branding, web design, even down to coding, which it's like French to me. What else, Charla? And even audio, visual, lighting, things you do as a student assistant, um, newsletters. Yeah, the whole media package, starter package. You gotta have it ready. ACM will prepare you. ACM is your starter package thing, whatever they say nowadays. But yeah, so I don't know if that also answers your question. I hope it does.
No, it did. I get what you mean though. ACM really is like gives you the starter kit of all of these things.
Yes.
I mean, Charlotte was showing me these like stickers that they designed for all the Adobe apps. And it's like you really get a taste of all of those apps. And then you can also figure out like which one you're better at, which one you like more, you know, which one you feel like you should grow in. But I mean, I kind of want to go into more about what you do at the mayor's office because you kind of said a lot of things. You seem like you're doing a lot over there.
Well, definitely audio. Whenever the mayor comes in here and whenever Mayor Blangiardi has his press conferences, his state of the city, I am the main audio person. So I'm working closely with KITV, Hawaii News Now, a lot of news stations, but because of COVID, we use one pool camera where they all grab from each other. And in this new administration, a lot of things shifted. A lot of tasks shifted. But what I used to do that was art affiliated was run the art exhibitions in the courtyard. I really missed that. But I'm gonna be collaborating with the team, and it's gonna be a wider exhibition. But we would allow both the state, both government agencies, and community exhibitors and organizations, foundations, to come and exhibit community work. And one thing we asked when it's managed under MOCA is that it has some kind of tie to Hawaii, has some kind of tie to telling the stories of all the different groups that make the population of Hawaii. That was one part of my job. Another part of my job was being the logistics coordinator for Kapolei City Lights, which that was last administration. And in this new administration, it's Honolulu City Lights, the bigger one. But you just got to do it. You kind of don't have a chance. A lot of the logistics require, meetings with HPD, making sure that when they're loading in the large tree, it's like movements, making sure the safety, precaution, protecting the public, protecting your workers, inventory on thousands of pounds of Christmas decorations, everything you see. When you come to Honolulu City Lights, there is a team that is crying that coordinated all of that, all the lights in the darkness. There's a team that, didn't sleep for 28 days.
Oh my
and
God.
You know what? The smile on your face is worth it.
I was just about to say that. You crying, but you're making a lot of people happy. I'm just gonna be honest.
Right. So
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of what else I do. I also manage our social media. We just started because of the new administration, everything's new. We have a new website, we have a new Instagram, everything's from the ground up in this administration. So still applying my creative media skill set in my life now, even after graduating, 4 years ago, Charlotte, 2017, yeah. Yes.
I love that. I mean, thank you for, I hear a little bit of an echo, but I don't know if it's me. Does anyone else hear that? We're good? We're fine? Okay.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear the echo, sorry.
Oh, the echo. Okay, cool. Echo isn't noticeable much. Okay. Thank you, Brittany, for checking on that. But I mean, I like that you explained a little bit more of your role. And I think that's the other thing too, when we go into jobs, like for me, even when you sign up for one thing and then you end up getting a whole lot of other stuff. So it's just about being like flexible, learning how to work with the people that you work with. I got a couple more questions for you before we hit some of these that are in the chat. But I mean, you said earlier, like, I'm not thinking about like my 5-year plan and you know what I mean? Like, it's hard, even for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I think I like where I am right now. I don't know, but what do you see in your future? Is it this role? What more do you want to add? What do you like about your job?
Um, I had a similar conversation with someone that I haven't gotten to catch up with in like 6 years, and they asked me where do I see myself in 5 years? I said the same thing that I told you. I don't find myself being a person that plans like that. But everything that I faced has opened a door or different windows within the same room. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll be in government in the city for how long, but I do know that I do as I grow in this career, I find myself being interested in different learning in different departments, like for example, I do find interest and I love talking stories with the cultural specialist at Parks and Rec. I'm always thinking how you can grow in the space that you're in before, you're not, jumping ahead of yourself and just saying goodbye to a career that you got 1, 2, 3 years in. So I like to take a step back and look at how I'm growing and if I am even growing in where I am right now. And if I feel like I'm being called at a different capacity within that same space. Yeah, that would be my answer.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying, the windows in the room. I love that instead of thinking about all the doors, and I put it in the chat, just growing in the space that you're in. I think a lot of times people think like, what's next? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to check off this thing in my 5, 10, 20-year plan? But I mean, it's different for everybody, and it
Right.
really, I mean, it changes all the time. Life is crazy. So, I mean,
Right.
I love that you shared that. Matthew says that's a good answer. Just follow the vibe.
That's right, Matt. Also, I want to say that most times your discomfort and your level of just being uncomfortable when the tasks that you don't, when the tasks are not falling into your strengths, Charlotte, why that face? Is probably an opening to another calling that you have to fulfill. And it's something that I'm going through that, you're going to shy away because it makes you feel uncomfortable and it demands a little more of you. But it might just be the next step in your growth in your skill set, or widening your skill set. And so, yeah, I just wanted to add that discomfort, you have to really discern, take a step back and discern that if discomfort is really just you justifying your comfort zone, or it's the next step to grow. You're getting a little complacent here. It's time for you to grow this way and that way and that way, and it most times will be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking directly to me. Like, who are these other people in this chat? No, I'm kidding. But you're right. Just like growing through the discomfort. I mean, and really like taking a step back. I mean, one of the advice that I give to people is just like really like checking in with yourself, like, is this right for me? Is this what I want to do? Am I going to do it?
Yeah.
I'm going to head into a little bit of the questions that we got.
Okay.
I think Mahia said, my sis with the words of wisdom, claps emoji. I'm adding the claps, Mahia. I'm going to scroll back a little bit to see what kinds of questions we got from our friends. Brittany asked, have you ever had a project you were on that you took a look at and thought, hell no, I don't want my name attached to this? That's a very real question, Brittany.
You know what, Brittany? I'm going to be honest with you. I would only feel that way because of my contribution. It wasn't up to par with my teams. Like, I'm my worst critic, and I will always be my worst critic, and my suggestion or my advice, because I honestly don't think I've had that quite of an experience where I'm just like, heck no. But come back to the table with your people, learn how they communicate, learn how to get your point across without them feeling so critical of themselves, make it like a graceful correction, or just make sure everyone's on the same page. And if you can't get your point across without, things even falling into more shamble, I don't know, maybe you have to tap Charlotte's hand, to tap you out, and it's her turn to get in the ringer. That would be my suggestion.
The summary of all of these alumni talks is like, ask Charlotte. No, I'm kidding. Charlotte's shaking her head. She's like, don't ask me, dear God. No, I think that was a good answer. And Brittany, let us know if you have any more questions. The next question I have here is from Ashley. She said, with a CM degree, where do you recommend to look for jobs, and what kind of jobs are available with the degree? That's a lot.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know the industry and what the market is right now, especially with COVID. But yeah, I really don't know the correct answer to that one. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Well, I think, just from the experience that I've had and seeing, all of our friends and fellow alumni that have graduated and what they've done with their degree, I mean, you can kind of apply a creative media degree like anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have friends that work.
That's true.
We have friends that work, in the film industry, and they're, using the skills that they've learned there. And then we also have friends who work like for news with me and others, and we apply our skills there. Like, I think it just depends on like what you like to do, and then finding a job around that is like a good starter, I think.
That's true. That's a great answer.
Well, I just think like, oh man, if there's not like a specific creative media associate somewhere out there, I think a lot of people think that, if you want to go into design, you should work for an agency. If you go into, music, you might want to go into the music industry. And I don't know if you're like a singer or a performer in some way.
Right.
I mean, I think there are a lot of different paths. It's just like picking a way and then taking that path,
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you always end up where you're supposed to be eventually, Thanks for that question. And if you have a follow-up, drop it in the chat, Ashley. Is it Aram? I think it's Aram. Have you ever found yourself stuck on a project that everyone else thought was good enough or even acceptable for completion? How do you overcome that feeling?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Have you ever found yourself stuck on a project that everyone else thought was good enough or even acceptable for completion? How do you overcome that feeling? We can also ask Aram to kind of elaborate if she wants
please.
to. All right. If she wants to come off mute, but I think she's busy. Or is she typing? Oh, like everyone else thinks it looks good, but you don't feel like it's complete to your standards.
Yeah, Aram, it goes back to you being your worst critic, yourself, being your worst critic, and trust in your talent, trust in your skill set, because especially if it's like a team project, or if it, even in the beginning stage, you're not confident in your in the direction your project is going, I would hope that your team members can be accountable of you and guide you and make sure that what you're creating is good enough for the team or good enough for yourself first and foremost. So yeah, I don't think that feeling will ever go away. It doesn't go away with me, to be honest. But if the majority of the team and even the guidance of your professors and your counselor, just believe in yourself and what you create. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I love that. Believe in yourself. We're our own worst critic. You know what I mean? Something that we say in our newsroom is like, done, not perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. And you can like work a story or work a thing for as long as you want, but you just have to get it done,
Right.
And it also speaks to like working with your team also. There's a lot, especially in like media and creative industries, we work with a lot of people, right? So learning through those relationships and understanding people and what their goals are for a project or something. Let's see. Someone asked for a job, by the way. In the chat. You gotta go to
what work for government in the world right now? We'll talk stories later. We'll talk stories later. So funny.
I also like Brittany put, I was told Ask Charlotte would be a recurring answer. LOL. Yeah, I mean, kind of. It's pretty much it. Mahia said, tap into your network and don't hesitate in applying in everything.
Yep. We honestly need each other after graduation. I tell you that much.
Yeah. I have another question. It says, how does creative media differ in government/public policy than creating other environments?
You know what?
Then creating it. Yeah.
It's not so different. You still have this like wide slate of creating. We're public information officers. That's what we have that understanding of, that we're public information officers. The messages and the information that has to come across, what creative ways and ways that are easy to understand. How can we create that as the government for the public? Yeah. So one thing I did realize is it can be very quote unquote outdated in some of the delivery, how government information is delivered, but there are efforts. There is a great effort in moving in the now, and like having a better presence in social media, if it means finding creative ways through videos on Instagram and Facebook. I can say that. I remember even talking to someone from Department of Health, which is state, and she was doing one program, but she was asking me, how can I make this graphic, easy to understand to all different generations, someone that's old or someone that's younger and stuff like that. So I can see that they're not limiting themselves. In government, I feel like there's a certain way you have to present the information, but they're not limiting themselves as far as creativity. I'm so thankful for the director I have that really trusts in the skill set of our team and the information that has to go out in whatever way we have to make it go out. How is it going to be received from the community, even in the times that are like this? How do we make this important information be received by the community? And so it comes down to, that's how it is in government. There are laws and policies we have to be guided by, but I don't think there's a limit on creativity. It depends on your department.
No limit to creativity. I love that. I think, Charlotte put that public information guidelines need to be reformed in governmental offices that recognizes technological advances in communication. Charlotte, they just got on Zoom. Okay, they just started letting people submit testimony online. So relax.
And it's protected under something called Sunshine Law, and I had to learn this. I had to learn this as a facility manager. That when times like this come up, people still need to get their point across to the government officials, to the commissioners, to everyone that needs to hear it in government and leader positions. So there's a great effort, I think. And COVID kind of amplified that and said, hey, if you're not tech savvy, guess what? You better know the apps, Zoom and WebEx and all of these things, and FaceTime, because we're going to be living by this for a long time. And so, yes, that would be my answer.
Yeah. Brittany asked, what's the one project that you've done that you continue to look back on your favorite? As your favorite, probably. Like the project that you are the proudest for people to see.
You know what? I don't, even when it comes to personal great hobbies like music, I don't have one favorite. I honestly don't. I cannot even think of one favorite. I don't. I can't give you an answer. I'm so sorry. I know. Yeah, I can't pinpoint one. I can't. I'm so sorry.
What was the first one that popped in your
Top
head?
three?
Oh, look, Brittany's
Top three.
letting you do top three.
Top three. It was definitely the movie trailers. I think I was blessed to take part of two, right, Charla, or three? I can't remember. Two. For ACM. I like the little things we did. Sorry, it's more than three. Wait, what was the question? What I thought it was
Your
an ACM
favorite.
project. Was it an ACM project?
Whatever project.
Oh, whatever project.
Work,
Yeah.
school.
You know what's
Is
pretty
that a
cool?
lot?
You know what's pretty cool?
Yeah.
Music 314 Foley project. Because it was a lot of throwing pills on the floor in baskets, and it was like, it's just because I was biased with that answer. I just love audio and sound effects and stuff like that. But that has to be my top whatever I listed. Yes, Foley is where you are making sound effects for film and whatnot. Which we do have a Foley room, right, Charla? I'm so excited. Yep.
So cool. Renato asked, do you have a project you consider your magnum opus? Is it yet to come?
Sorry, can I go back and read it?
Oh yeah, read it.
Question.
I'm glad that you have access to the chat also. I don't know why I keep reading it out loud like you don't know how to read.
I love it. I love both. I think everything is yet to come. Everything, even my greatest mistakes and my greatest products, I think so. So yes, it's yet to come.
I think it's Donna. Do you want me to read this one out loud for everyone?
Yes, please.
I'll read it out loud. You're the exact person I wanted to talk to. When they have those televised conferences with the governor and mayor, can they throw a mic to the person asking the question? Okay, hold on. They lose me once you cannot hear the question, but it seems to be the one problem that has persisted over the years. You sound proactive to be able to finally fix that.
Can they throw the mic to protect? You know what?
I think it's hard. It's all these technological things that we got now that everybody's online.
Trust me. Yeah. It comes down to the tech issues. And sometimes press conferences, you don't know when they're going to happen. You really don't know. Like, it's really the mayor and his comms team tapping into, the facility managers or wherever they're going to have. And then even as the facility managers, we have to provide whatever equipment the mayor's comms team might need. And sometimes we're working really fast. Yeah, it comes down to how fast the prep needs to be for the press conferences. And if we had enough time, to set up for it. Sometimes, especially now with not being able to allow all the newscasters to come in, sometimes the designated person that's doing the interview questions this person's not getting it, And there's a lot of issues. So we do ask for your patience, Donna or Danya. I'm not sure how it's
Danya.
So it's
Yeah. Oh, Donya.
Yeah. It's
Donya.
Thank you for correcting that. I mean, this is a personal question that I have, just as someone who has to go to those pressers and cover them. I mean, what's kind of the pressures of working in the city, and like, how do you combat that in your own way, even if it's in work, outside of work?
The pressures of working for the city?
Or just for government in general? I think oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, cool.
No, you go. It's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. It's already, I just feel that working in government, you're public facing 24/7, right? You are literally working for the public. And so you're kind of really under a magnifying glass in general. And you just try your best. Like, honestly, I just show up and I just try my best in whatever is the task of the day. And so does my coworkers too. And I feel like with COVID, there's a dark cloud. It really is a dark cloud that hovers over your head when you're simply doing your 9 to 5, because of the negative connotations. You could just be a simple worker, like a clerk or something, and you have the reality of the world outside of your office. You have the public facing you. And do you, I feel like you ask yourself as the employee of government, are you allowed to be political? Are you allowed to have this space, or have the privilege of how they're practicing? But really it comes down to, you're working your 9 to 5, you're trying to pay your bills and whatnot. And that's not darkness, but that's the heaviness I feel like I take home is, I make sure I have no political agenda, that would not even jeopardize my job, but it's like save me the mental and heaviness, the mental space and heaviness. Like, you have to separate yourself. You have to do your best. You go home. You're at your house, and then you come back and you just perform every day. Yeah, I hope that was a good enough question.
No, that lends back to my first question about just balance, being able to just leave your job at your job. I mean, that's so hard for so many people, and you just, every job and every chance you get, you just learn it. Some days I forget and I work till like 10 o'clock at night. And other days I'm like, I'm done at 4. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Same.
It changes. And we learn the balance.
Yeah.
We got a couple more questions. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Whoever was inquiring about this position, I know in City Lights, I would work till like 11 at night, start my day at 7. And that's all the way in Kapolei, driving a cargo van, not knowing how to build stuff, but learning how to build stuff on your own. And it's going to come at a lot of, really, once again and again and again, taking chances and just taking the risk of learning something you don't know just to get the job done, get the job done, reach your deadlines, and put on for the community, really, for in this environment of work.
Yeah. We got a couple more questions and a couple more minutes, okay?
Yes.
So I'm just
Sorry, I know.
bang them out. No, you're good. And we don't want to take up too much of your time. We know that you're at work. So Scott asked, when it came to the hardest part of any project you have done, what was your thought process of overcoming that part?
Oh, you know what? That's pretty easy. I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit. Easy answer. I wanted to quit. But I didn't. I didn't, because as troubling and mentally like challenging of the experience I was going through on my hardest days, like the hope that I seen in having a career in government and being surrounded by people that make decisions for our island and the people. I practice my faith, so I really go on faith. And I just feel like my purpose here wasn't done just because I was going through what I felt like was such a dark valley. And that faith has always kept me to like, okay, Janelle, we're gonna make it through this day because the calling is much more deeper than right now, even though you want to throw in the towel so bad. And a lot of things came out of the fortitude and perseverance of just keep on going through the hard days. Like I love the administration that I'm working in. I love the team that I have. I'm trusting that we get to produce more effective and impactful content for the public in this time. So like coming back to the board, and that's what I love most about, and that is the fruit of being patient in your struggle and the painful things, is like finally things did turn out the way I wanted it to be. I was patient, I kept my head down, I just went through the valley, and now I'm over here, where I wanted to be with a solid team. So yeah, just yeah, I hope that once again, I'm trying to go back to the question. I am so sorry. Sometimes I feel like I'm
No, you're
10-second
fine.
Tom here.
No, just I love that you were very honest about your thought process. Because yeah, sometimes we just want to quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we push through.
We
I
push
can't
through.
quit.
Charlotte won't allow it. You want the real answer? Charlotte will not allow it.
That's true too. I think it's Gino. How did you become a student assistant for UH West Oahu's ACM? And how do you deal? I think that's a Charlotte question, but how did you become one,
I'm gonna leave it to Charlotte.
Okay. Well, he also asked, or he or she asked, how do you deal with projects that doesn't go through as initially planned?
I feel like the answer was right there in the parentheses, is like coming up with an alternative, or going back to the drawing board. Yeah, wait, doesn't seem to go through. How do you deal with projects like that? Going back to the drawing board, and doesn't go initially planned.
Yeah.
You don't know if it'll be better. You don't know if you know what might be not so good in your eyes is actually art to somebody else's, you know, and that's one thing you have to be patient in, is like, once we're in the presentation mode, what you're thinking with your critical lens is actually amazing to like a filmmaker. You as a graphic designer, you know, a filmmaker is looking at the storytelling that, you know, in the process was truly where the beauty of your project was. You know, it wasn't even in how you got to this result, was truly A+ worthy. That answers your question. Yeah, trusting yourself and going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying, but also it's like projects are fluid. You know what I mean? Things are gonna go how they go, and the end result will come when it comes. But I mean, I know it's frustrating when you plan for things and they don't work out, but I mean, everything is flex. No. Mahia said, always be flexible. So
Yep.
That's it. This might be our last question from Aram. Thanks for rounding us out. But are there any physical exercises / stretches you would specifically recommend / wish you did sooner in this line of work?
Oh, that's so funny. You know, I'm going to be super transparent right now. I'm going to be super transparent.
Do it. No,
when I came to this, when I graduated, okay, I'm not going to put no number because I'm embarrassed still, but in this job, so far, I lost over 30 pounds in 3 years, in 2.5 years, 30 pounds. And it came, I'm not gonna lie, because of stress, but also the demand and the tasks of your job will demand you to be in better shape. So start making healthier choices, you know, start making healthier choices and be accountable of yourself so that you can get the job done and not so toll on your physical body. I remember on my stressful days, I started walking home. I started walking home from Honolulu Hale to Kalihi, just to let the day and the stress roll off of me and not go and take it out on my family. Once again, we come back and we round back to balance, ku'u. And it's not alcohol and smoking, guys, even though that's ultimate. You can't do that because you're in your early 20s, but when you're in your late 20s, make better choices.
Your body though, yeah.
And stretching every limb, I'm not even specifying. I know you said, are there any physical symptoms? Just make better, whatever will protect your mental health and also improve your physical health. Do it early on in whatever career. If I could have prioritized it earlier in this career, like 2.5 years ago, I would. But I feel like I found the balance, now today, and a benefit of that is a ripple effect on my family, and we're prioritizing our health,
right,
especially in these times. So yes, that is such an important question. I never would have thought that would be our ending question, but I'm glad it is.
Yeah, I like that as an ending question. I thought we were all gonna start stretching, just because, just so everybody just shake it out,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 1:30. I just want to thank you so much for being with us today, Janelle. I love seeing you. I've loved checking up on you. Thank you, everyone who came to hang out with us today. Stay tuned. We'll be doing this again in October. So follow ACM on social. Look out for those October newsletters, and we'll let you know when we come back. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks.